All right, Reverbers, what you've got here is an early 2000s Line 6 Vetta 1 head. This is not the Vetta 2 head. This is the Vetta 1. You'll notice that it's out of the chassis. Unfortunately, this poor head, being a little over 20 years old now, it has given up the ghost. So we'll show you what it's doing. When we turn it on, it gets that far into its startup procedure and it stops. And I've tried the usual stuff. I disconnected some of the ribbon cables inside and cleaned things off and put it back together. But I do think that this amp has had it. I do think that what you're seeing here is a main board failure. However, there are still lots of really good parts here. And with the Line 6 Vetta being so far out of production and a little bit of a cult following, I'm offering this up for free. I don't want anything for it other than my cost to ship it if it's not going to be a local pickup. Lots of really good parts in here. I'm the original owner of this amp. I bought it new from a Sam Ash in Cleveland area in, I can do this, September of 2003. And it has never been serviced before. I reflashed it to the Vetta 2 software and had some really cool presets saved on it, but it just, I didn't use it for a couple of years. I hadn't even turned it on. And then when I went to turn it on yesterday, it does this. And I'm just not going to put money into trying to repair it and get it running again. And I think if I did, I would lose my presets anyway, and that's depressing. So I'm going to just let this one go. We'll show you a little bit more about it. Let's go ahead and turn it off. And we're going to pull power from it. And I have already opened up the chassis here a bit so that cool guys all over the internet can see just what's a what. So we're going to disconnect this little header cable right here. Come on, buddy. Yeah, these things are just in the way. Let go, buddy. There you go. There's a good buddy. So you can see there's no like obvious visible damage to the board. I went through here. I didn't see anything that looked like shorted out spots or anything that looked melty or obviously damaged. The amp did not experience any kind of a catastrophic event. It just doesn't power up anymore. You can see this board here with all the interface for the buttons on the front of the amp. That's all really super clean. The main board is a bit dusty, but not terrible. I blew this out some. I wiped some of the, just with fingers. No chemicals have been used on this. And really just a minimal effort just to try and see if we could get anything back to a functional state here. And that answer is no. So I'm going to give up on it and let it go. This is the only amp that I've ever performed publicly with. My career is in IT. I'm not a performance musician or anything like that. So yeah, it's a little bit nostalgic. And I hope that it's going to go to either a repair shop that's always looking for Line 6 Vetta parts, or maybe it'll go to a hobbyist enthusiast who needs to restore their own amp, or yeah, just whatever. I just hope that, because there's a lot of really good material here and a lot of really good parts here, and the engineer in me hates to see that go to waste. So we want to put these back into circulation somewhere instead of putting them in a landfill where they're of no use to anyone. So yeah, that's it. Please message me if you have any questions. I'm very quick to answer messages sent via Reverb. And yeah, I would even drive to the few nearby counties in Northeast Ohio. I'm in Medina County. So if you're in that area, I would even like more or less bring it to you or halfway, so long as it's going to a good home, either a shop that's going to use the parts to keep other Vettas running, or to an enthusiast who maybe knows more about this than I do and they know exactly how to reset it and get it back into service. But I think that's probably a bit taller order than just holding some buttons the right way when you turn it on. But yeah, that's it. Please message me if you have questions. I'm going to take a few more pictures of it. Here is the chassis that the cabinet that it came out of. You'll see there's a little bit of dirty dirt on it. I think most of that would wipe off. I have had a couple of stickers on it for years. Looks like I took that one off. Here's one, the I worship Satan, ha ha. That's a fun sticker for people who are dumb enough to believe that kind of thing. Cumberland Guitars, shout out Cumberland Guitars in Kentucky. You guys are amazing. But yeah, you'll see that's the Vetta 1 packaging, not the Vetta 2 cool stuff with, hey, look, there's Jesus there. He hates us all. Yeah, not the cool blacked out, you know, the emo type. This is the silvery face stuff. But it did accept the Vetta 2 firmware back in like 2003 or 4. I loaded that on there. So the story that I got as an enthusiast myself back in the day was that Vetta 1 and Vetta 2 were identical under the hood. I don't know if that's true, but they certainly accepted each other's firmware, because I had the Vetta 2 firmware and presets and everything flashed onto this one, which I did myself with, you know, the MIDI cable and all that stuff. Anyway, this is already longer than expected. Please message me if you have questions. Yeah, free to a good home. I'm going to put it back into the cabinet there, the enclosure, and that's how it's going to go. So yeah, happy to let it go. Not trying to get anything for this. It doesn't owe me anything. Lots of great hours playing and experimenting and practicing, and even a little bit of performance with this thing. So yeah, hopefully it'll go to someone who will put it to good use. Cheers.